Hi, this is Gina with another Kingdom Sewing Minute Clinic. Today I'd like to talk to you about overcasting. Overcasting is when we sew over the edge of our fabric to keep it from raveling. So you'll notice here I have on my screen I've chosen my stitch number 16 here. They're generally on most machines you'll find similar stitches and possibly more than one overcasting stitch. You'll notice here that my machine is recommending my G foot, which is my overcasting foot. So let me show you what that looks like. This is our overcasting foot here, and you can see that there's a pin in the middle of the foot. If I turn it over to the back, you can see that pin comes right up through the opening in the foot. And the reason for that is that the needle is going to stitch over that pin so that the thread pulls on the pin in the foot rather than buckling the edge of our fabric. So let me get that put on. Turn down my lights a little bit so that you can see better. Alrighty. So I'm going to line up my fabric so that it is right against this guide. There's a guide that wraps around here, and that keeps me right underneath that pin in the center of the foot there. So let me show you a little bit of that. Actually, I'm going to turn around here. There we go. And you'll see this particular stitch does kind of a back and forth motion. This would be a stitch that you'd want to use on a fabric maybe that ravels a little bit more. What I have here is just a basic quilting cotton. But I'm just keeping it lined up right at the front edge here where the guide is on the foot. Alrighty, and then you'll see when I take it out here that it sews over the edge of our fabric and keeps it from raveling when we wash our project. So you can also do this if you're a garment sewer. I'm going to fold my fabric in half here. Let's pretend that I've already sewn my 5/8 inch seam allowance and I want to finish off the edge. If you have a serger, that's a great solution. If you don't, you can do this. Or maybe you don't want to rethread your serger. You only have to do a small amount. So I've got my 2 layers of fabric here with my edges lined up. And I'm going to do the same thing. Just come down. And I think what I'll do, let me stop here and I'll show you there's another stitch that doesn't take quite as many steps. So you have some different options. Some of these stitches have even more steps, so if you had something that was very ravelly fabric, you could do that. So you can see there, the first portion here where I had the larger stitch with more steps, and then this one is a little quicker, takes a smaller stitch. But all of those are going to keep your edges from raveling when you're laundering or even sometimes handling your fabric. If you've got something that's very ravelly, I always think of silk du peony. You pretty much just look at that fabric and it's going to ravel away. So I actually like to finish my edges on that before I even begin my project. So if you run into a situation where you need to keep your fabric under control, try overcasting. This has been your Kingdom Sewing Minute Clinic.